Hi everyone, welcome back to Betrayed. My unfaithful wife told me, I'm tired of hiding, so just know I have a strong and lasting lover. From now on, he'll sometimes spend the night at our house. I simply smiled and replied, I think he'll be useless to you, especially since he's already lost his most important tool. I was sitting at the dinner table, calmly sipping my coffee when my wife, Claire, leaned back in her chair with a smirk. She swirled the wine in her glass, watching me with that arrogant look I had grown to hate over the past few months. I'm tired of hiding, so just know I have a strong and lasting lover, she said casually, as if she were announcing something as normal as the weather. She placed her wine glass down and stared at me. And now he'll occasionally spend the night at our place. My fingers tightened around the coffee mug, but I didn't react, not in the way she expected. No shouting, no anger. Just a deep, steady breath. I had already known. I had seen the signs, the late nights at work, the sudden obsession with her appearance, the way she pulled away from my touch while keeping her phone glued to her hand. But hearing her say it out loud, so boldly and without shame, that was something different. She was testing me, waiting for me to explode, to beg, to argue. Instead, I smiled, a small, knowing smile. I think he'll be useless to you, I said calmly, lifting my coffee to my lips. Considering he's already lost his most valuable asset. Her smirk disappeared. Her lips parted slightly, and a flicker of confusion passed through her eyes. What the hell are you talking about? I gently set the cup down, leaned forward, and looked directly at her. You're about to find out. Claire stared at me, her confidence starting to slip. This wasn't what she expected. She thought I'd lose my temper. Instead, I stayed calm, eerily calm. What do you mean? She asked, her voice just a bit shakier now. I leaned back in my chair and watched her begin to feel uneasy. I had let her think she was in control. That was her first mistake. You'll see soon enough, I said, standing up. I suggest you enjoy tonight. It's the last time things will feel normal. I left her sitting at the table, letting her paranoia grow. She had no idea what was coming. I had been preparing everything for weeks, ever since I first sensed something wasn't right. I didn't confront her. I watched. I studied her habits, installed hidden cameras, and even followed her once, just to confirm what I already suspected. Her so-called great enduring lover? He was a pathetic excuse for a man named Daniel. He had no idea that while he was sneaking into my home, I was digging into his entire life. I found everything. His job, his criminal background. Turns out he wasn't as clean as Claire thought. His shady finances, his weaknesses, the ones I was planning to use, and most importantly, his medical records. That's when I found the perfect way to destroy him. The reckoning began that night. I pretended to go to bed early, leaving Claire alone. As expected, she quickly got up, touched up her makeup, and sent a message. He's coming over. I watched everything through my hidden security feed. Daniel walked into my house like he owned it, smirking, confident, completely unaware that this was the biggest mistake of his life. I let them settle in, let them feel safe. Then I sent the anonymous email. Within minutes, the sound of police sirens filled the street. Claire and Daniel barely had time to react before the front door was kicked open. Officers rushed in with weapons drawn. Daniel's face went pale. What the hell is this? Claire screamed. An officer grabbed Daniel and slammed him against the wall. Daniel Carter, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and identity theft. You have the right to remain silent. I walked down the stairs slowly, deliberately. Claire turned to me, her face full of horror. You, she whispered. You did this. I smiled. Of course I did. Did you really think I'd just let this go? She lunged at me, but an officer held her back. Careful, I said calmly. You're still legally my wife, and once I'm done with you, you'll be left with nothing. Claire's entire world began to crumble, and this was only the beginning. She stood frozen as Daniel was dragged away in handcuffs. His desperate shouting was drowned out by the officers reading his rights. Her face twisted, shock, fear, and rage all at once. What the hell have you done? She yelled at me, her voice trembling. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, watching her finally realize she had lost all control. Me? I said, pretending to be surprised. I just let the law do its job. You might want to sit down, Claire. Your life is about to get complicated. She clenched her fists. You think you've won? That bastard will be out on bail in no time. I laughed quietly and shook my head. You still don't understand. I wasn't just watching you two sneak around, Claire. I was digging, and I found everything I needed to make sure Daniel doesn't walk away from this. Her expression cracked. I pulled out my phone and opened a saved file. Here, let me paint a picture for you. Your great enduring lover isn't just a cheating lowlife. He's a criminal. Fraud, identity theft, a history of unpaid debts, and look at this, a record of soliciting underage girls online. Claire's face went completely pale. You're lying, she whispered, but the doubt in her voice was clear. I turned the screen toward her, letting her see the undeniable proof, screenshots, chat logs, and financial records, all under Daniel's name. Tell me, Claire, I said, watching the panic rise in her eyes. What do you think will happen when the court finds out that you not only had an affair with this man, but brought him into our home, introduced him to our neighbors, and let him spend time around our friends? Do you really think that's going to make you look good? Her hands were trembling. I didn't know. No, you didn't care. I corrected firmly. And now you're going down with him, financially and socially. As Claire struggled to process everything, I kept going. You might want to check your bank accounts, I said, pulling out my phone. Oh wait, never mind. They're empty. Her head snapped up. What? I shrugged. Remember that joint savings account? The one you thought I was too stupid to monitor? Turns out I've been transferring funds for months. Every shady transaction you made, every dollar you spent on your little affair, I tracked it all. And when I filed for divorce earlier today, I made sure you'd walk away with nothing. She grabbed her phone with shaking hands and checked her accounts. Her face went pale. You're lying, she said weakly. Check for yourself, I said casually. Oh, and the house? It's mine. You signed a prenup, remember? You don't get a cent. She looked up at me, her eyes full of desperation. You bastard. You can't do this. I stepped closer and lowered my voice. I already did. Tears filled her eyes. The smug attitude she once had was gone, replaced by panic. She had no money, no home, and soon no reputation. And I wasn't done yet. The final blow. Now, Claire, I said, stepping back. I'd love to stay and watch you fall apart, but I have places to be. You, on the other hand, have about 24 hours before the real fun starts. She wiped away her tears angrily. What do you mean? I smirked. Let's just say, you're about to become famous. Her phone dinged. Then again. And again. She frowned and opened her messages. Dozens of notifications poured in. Screenshots of her affair were being shared in group chats with family and friends. A police report about Daniel's crimes. A leaked copy of the so-called open marriage contract she tried to force on me. Now it was all going viral. Her breathing became uneven as she scrolled through the chaos. You sent this to everyone? She asked, choking on her words. Not just them, I replied, turning toward the door. Your job, your family, our neighbors, heck, even your yoga instructor. Hope you're ready to be the center of attention. I walked out, leaving her standing there, surrounded by the ruins of her own choices. I didn't look back. Claire's fall from grace. By the next morning, Claire's life was unrecognizable. She wasn't just disliked, she was the town's biggest disgrace. The texts, the screenshots, the so-called open relationship proposal, it all spread like wildfire. Friends blocked her. Family cut her off. Even her coworkers, people who once respected her, now looked at her with disgust. And the best part? Her boss fired her. The company didn't want to be associated with the scandal. Her great, enduring lover was denied bail. Turns out, being exposed as a predator doesn't impress judges. The divorce papers were served. She had 30 days to move out of my house. And me? I was doing better than ever. Claire's desperation. That night, she called me crying. Please, we need to talk, she sobbed into the phone. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please, I have nowhere to go. I let her cry, let her beg, let her taste the fear. Then I said simply, not my problem. And I hung up. She sent a dozen messages after that. I ignored every single one. She made her choice. Now she could live with it. Her last mistake. By the end of the week, Claire made one final attempt. She showed up at my door, makeup ruined, hair messy, completely broken. Please, she whispered. I need your help. I don't have anyone else. I looked her up and down, the same woman who once smirked at me, thinking I was weak. Now she stood here, pathetic and shattered. I smiled. So, what happened to your great, enduring lover? She flinched. Gone, she muttered. He won't even answer my calls. I chuckled. Yeah? Neither will I. Then I shut the door in her face. She collapsed to the ground, sobbing. But I didn't care.
She was dead to me.
And with that, I walked away, leaving her behind in the wreckage she had built for herself. Was this revenge justified? What do you think? Was this revenge deserved? Or did it go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your opinion. And if you love shocking, real-life revenge stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this post for more thrilling tales you won't want to miss. Your support truly means the world to us and helps keep these stories coming.